Testing. Alexa's boot camp.
That's pleasant. Yeah.
Are you recording that one?
I don't think I'm allowed to tell the story.
And that's my date story. Can you fix that? I was a senior in high school, and I was talking to this guy. He took me out to dinner, and we went to the mall, and we hung out, and it wasn't a big deal, and we were in the car, and he asked me if I was 18 or not.
This guy I met at a party, asked me out on a date, and it was just a Sunday morning, and he came to pick me up, and I just assumed that we were gonna go grab breakfast or something, and we pull up to his church.
I went to this winter formal dance with this boy that was from a different town. I barely knew this guy, and we had only gone out once.
Well, I went out with this guy, and he's like, well, I think maybe you should drive. And I was like, okay, you know, no big deal. Started driving, and he's like, well, where do you want to eat at, you know? And I was like, well, I really don't care, but I think the Chinese restaurant by State Farm would be pretty cool. It was like, I'm actually thinking that we should go to the cheaper place.
Okay, so then when I got to his house, he seemed really cool, and his house was all nice and put together, and he seemed nice and put together, and he had this really cute Rottweiler. I was getting some weird vibes from this dog. I don't really know how you get weird vibes from a dog, but I was getting weird vibes from a dog.
We made our way to Lincoln to Shaker's strip club.
I just sat through the service and never got my breakfast.
And then that night, after the last song, of course it was a slow song, he kissed me, and I'm like, oh God. He dropped me off at my friend's place I was gonna stay at that night, and he texted me, and he's like, so can we start saying I love you already?
We get in there, and he starts telling me about his ex-girlfriend and how they dated for I don't know how long. We actually finished the date. At this point, I was like, I'm ready to be done anyway. And then we go to pay, and he's like, oh, actually, I was kind of hoping you could pay.
Okay, so then I was really freaking out in the bathroom, right? And the dog is trying to beat down the door to come attack me because it apparently has mommy issues, I don't know. And the dude left. I don't even remember the dude's name at this point.
He was at Scary Acres with a group of my girlfriends, and he totally made a move. And we swapped numbers, and we were hanging out, and he was a freshman at UNO, and I was a senior in high school, and we just hung out. It was never developed into anything because he took me to a strip club, but I mean.
And he asked me out on a date after that, and I said no. And then he transferred back to UNK the next year, and it was a little awkward. And now he's my best friend. He jokes about it all the time, gives me shit for it.
He was like, well, what do you want to do after this? And I was like, actually, I think I'm gonna go home.
So, I mean, all in all, we haven't talked since then, which is probably a good thing. And I still think that dog has mommy issues.
Not gonna say it was a terrible date because it was definitely memorable.
After that, he kept messaging me and Snapchatting me. I just I told him, I was like, you're nice and everything.
Oh no, I said I should burp in his face. What, does that never happen to you?
No.
Oh, well, you're lucky. I ran out the window.
I mean, no, not unless I was drunk.
Beggars can't be choosers. I was desperate for a date.
I really hope no one can hear us here.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Cut.